It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
This is the Cosmick Voice. Cosmick Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmick Voice. This is Season 7, Episode 19. I am here with my co-host, Chris Natalini.
Hello, everyone.
And I am Mick Michaels. Welcome back, everyone, to another show. Chris, how are you, sir?
What is up, my friend? I am doing awesome. The weather is getting nicer. Yeah, although I'm going to miss my hoodies. I'm ready for this warmer weather.
Absolutely. I am not going to miss my sweat jackets, my over-the-top jackets, my gloves, my scarf, my hats, my 3 or 4 layers of shirts. I am not going to miss any of that. The sooner, the better.
When I can just throw on a pair of jeans and a hoodie, that's what I'm going to miss. That's what I'll miss. Not the layering up, I'm not going to miss. The wind, I'm not missing at all. Like, I'm just not.
No.
The wind has been brutal at time of recording this. We're coming out of almost a week or two of a horrendous wind. Like, it's just been awful. Awful.
Like I think we talked about in a previous episode, it's been a bit of a strange winter here, but again, I guess you got people in Fargo going, yeah, guys, come on, stop it. People in remote areas of Canada going, yeah, no wonder you guys are, trying to charge us more. Places with extreme heat or one or the other, you know what I mean?
That is true, I guess. That is true.
Yeah,
that is
so
true.
I'm not really sure, but for what it is, that's what it is.
It's one of those things that you can't complain. I mean, you could complain about the weather, but it doesn't make sense. Like, people go, oh my God, it's so cold. Well, it's winter. Of course it's supposed to be cold. Same thing with summer. Oh my God, it's so hot. Well, it's summer. It's supposed to be hot.
Just not a fan of the cold months. I know that's part of what we do and part of where we're at. And like I said before, like I've always wanted to move to a warmer climate, especially when I reach a certain age. But looking at all these warmer climate states that I wanted to go to, they're having their own problems.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I want to deal with that either. I mean, the older I get, the less I want to do. So maybe dealing with 3 months of some extreme. Maybe, listen, I'll just get to a point where in those 3 months, I don't leave the house. Pack rat. I become like a squirrel or a grizzly bear. During the warm months, I'll start stockpiling stuff, and that's the end of it.
It's funny because you and I have a mutual friend who used to live in Florida, and he would say between May and October, he never left the house. Like, it was too hot.
Yeah.
He would go from, his house to his car to his work, and that was it.
So, I mean, I guess there's a trade-off period. Like, I mean, I like the warm weather, the temperatures, but I just want to see sun more often.
That's it, right?
There's just something about it. I mean, they have proven that the sun isn't as bad as they said it's been, like on our skin, and maybe skin cancer is like a big hoax type of thing, and it has nothing to do with the sun, where the sun's supposed to give you vitamin D. And see, I mean, it's conflicting. So what do? You basically buy more streaming services, you make sure that they bring you food twice a week, and never leave the house. I think then you're set.
And then then you'll keel over of diabetes, and because you don't get any exercise.
Yeah, you don't get any exercise. You don't get any sunlight. You live in the darkness all the time.
Right.
So all of a sudden, like the movie The Whale. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
The Whale?
exactly.
Which was a good movie. Strange movie, but a good movie.
It was strange. It was strange, but very good.
It's Russ the Boss.
Take it down.
Johnny D from Brittany Fox.
This is Stephen Pearson from Rat, the Rat Bastard. You're listening to the Cosmick Voice.
I wanted to make note of this, just, and I'm sure a lot of people have already heard about it, but there's a push to get a bill to Congress for artists to support the Living Wage Act to make streaming pay. I'm not sure if you heard about it or if you have heard about it. By the time this airs, it's already been out for a bit, but earlier this week I had gotten an email regarding it, and it seems like it's definitely a point of interest, especially today, where artists aren't making money via streaming, even though their contributions to streaming are making millions and billions for the CEOs of the platforms, as well as the labels, as well as distribution and stuff like that, but the artists themselves aren't making it. I'm just going to read a little bit about it, just so people are aware of it. The United Musicians and Allied Workers have introduced the Living Wage for Musicians Act. And again, they're bringing it up to Congress. By creating a new streaming royalty, the bill will help ensure that artists and musicians can build sustainable careers in the digital age. That's kind of where a lot of artists are today. There are so many artists that aren't touring, aren't playing out. They're solo, they don't have the budget for it, but they can create, and they're just not being paid for it. I guess to get it to Congress, right, so that Congress will entertain it, they have to get so many signatures, over 25,000. Right now, as of today, well, not of the airing of the show, but of the recording of the show, they already have over 16,000. So that's pretty exciting, because just in the week that I've received it, they've more than doubled. So you could tell that it's definitely an important subject matter.
Yeah.
Basically, from what I read through it, they want a defined amount that the artists are paid per stream. And basically, it looks like it's going to be the Living Wage for Musicians Act is built to pay artists a minimum penny per stream. Now, again, we're really not talking whatever, but it's the compounding of it, right? I mean, we're still talking pennies. We're talking a full penny now, not 0.3 of a penny or whatever. An amount calculated specifically to provide a working class artist a living wage from streaming. Now, understand that if you look into that a little bit more, a working class artist, that means, you're probably at poverty level if you already have the streams. And remember, we talked about something that for you to make that living, you'd have to continuously make that amount of streams to keep that kind of money coming in. As soon as it drops, you're already making less.
Yeah.
But this at least gives people a fair shake that they know going into it that if I get 1,000 streams, whatever 1,000 pennies is, that's what I get. And I'm sure in the long run, and I'm not an accountant, I just pretend to be one on a podcast, is that there's a compounding that's going to happen now that they're not paying 0.003 and they're paying a full penny. It's going to start cutting into them. So you watch, all of a sudden, within a year, 18 months, let's just say Spotify and some of the other platforms as well are going to implement a maintenance fee.
Yeah.
To balance out the difference. Or they'll have to start some type of membership fee.
Yeah.
For the verified artist things.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Anyway, their whole mission is the Living Wage for Musician Act is built to pay artists a minimum penny per stream. Let's see what happens, man, right? Because it's like a lot of people have said, and we've said it too, it's criminal. If you're interested, it's weareumaw.org. weareumaw.org. So make streaming pay, or do a Google search on Living Wage for Musicians Act. Hey, listen, the worst thing that can happen is that it brings an awareness to something that's important to all of us, especially as we move forward. We're in the digital age. We're not going back. I realize vinyl's come back. It's making a huge splash. It's outclassing CD sales. Vinyl prices have come down in the last year, drastically in the last 8 months. I mean, you can get a package now for under $1,000 for 100 units. That's still a pretty good investment, don't get me wrong, especially when you're an artist on a budget of nothing. And I'm not sure how much that penny per stream is going to help you get to that level quicker. But if it makes people perk up, take notice, make some actions, hey, listen, it's a start. Everything has to start somewhere. So look into it, see if you're interested, but they're still looking for signatures. They need 25,600 apparently. And right now, as of the recording of this podcast episode, they have 6,623. Like I said, it's doubled just in the week that I've got an email from it.
Interesting. And you know what, Mick, as we're recording this live, They have 16,624 signatures now.
There you go, baby. There you go. Yeah. I had put mine in earlier in the week, so it's kind of exciting. Kind of exciting, man. Somebody taking notice.
Yeah, they just need a little less than 9,000 to meet the goal of 25,600 signatures.
Amazing.
So it's good.
Amazing, yeah. I guess that's the checks and balances system. Like, they just don't want people throwing, paperwork in their way. We got to have a support of 25,000. And honestly, that's really not that many people when you think of a country the size of the United States and really how many musicians that, you come in contact with. Because everybody has the same gripe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Listen, I wanted to ask you on another note,
sure,
because I know you're involved in some of these convention things of all different ilks. The hot new thing is now, and I guess it's always been like this, but the prices seem to be crazy. Stars, I guess of all different levels, charging massive amounts for photos and autographs and pieces of their underwear and things like that. I mean, how do you feel about that? Because I know you're at the shows. I have not been to one of those type of conventions in years, and probably the last one I went to was a Star Trek convention. When I went, and this is how long ago it wasn't that crazy. Like, you could stand in line and get a quick picture or even an autograph, and they weren't charging. I don't remember them charging. I'm talking, we're going back a lot of years.
You're 100% right that back in the day, they really, it was either very cheap or they didn't. I would like to sit here and say that just like anything else, prices have gone up, right? From what I understand, a lot of these celebrities, when they're asked to do these conventions, that they make their money off of being there. Like, they make their money off of these pictures and autographs, stuff like that. Like, they as far as I'm aware, they pay for their own flight and their own hotel, or maybe the convention pays for hotel or flight. I don't know both. I don't know that to be fact, but I do know that I'm pretty sure that a lot of the table money goes directly to them. It's one of those things that it's almost like looking at like a Disney, the company, a model, right? Like, they go, okay, listen, what's our biggest complaint in the parks? It's super crowded. Okay, well, let's raise the price to see if we can back out on the crowds, because not everybody's going to be able to afford the new price. Well, then they set the new price and people still are coming and it's just as packed, and they go, well, now we got to raise it again, because like they're trying to outprice the middle class is basically what Disney is trying to do in their theme parks, because their biggest complaint is it's too crowded. That's their biggest complaint that they get from their people that go there. So now what they're doing is they're outpricing guys like you and me. I mean, listen, a number of years ago, I was going to sometimes 2-3 times a year, like even just for long weekends. Now, it would be hard for me to afford one weekend, because everything is so expensive. So they've kind of outpriced the
little guy.
The middle class. And I understand their point, but to outprice everybody is crazy. So anyway, so it's just like that. It's like, well, I can charge, I don't know, $60 for an autograph. And then you see people coming to your table and you go, well, next time I'll charge $80. And then still the same amount of people are coming to your table. At the time of recording this, I just worked at a convention for some friends of mine. I helped them at their vendor tables. And Chris Jericho, who I'm a fan of, pro wrestling, I love pro wrestling. Chris Jericho was there, and he was $100 for an autograph and $100 for a picture. Sometimes some people will do, well, I'll do $60 for an autograph, $50 for a selfie, and a combo would be a little cheaper, right? But he was $100 for an autograph, $100 for a selfie. So if you wanted both, you were looking at $200. Well, people are paying it. So who am I to say that he's wrong, because people are paying it? So it's just like going to NFL games. Everybody says, oh, even going to concerts. Oh my God, it's so expensive. Well, so the only way that's going to happen is to lower the price, is to not pay that price. You don't go. But that's hard, because if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So those prices will never come down unless, and we had talked about this even a couple episodes ago about, Spotify. The only way that stuff's going to change is if the big people, if the big superstars go, we're taking our stuff off of streaming until we figure this the right way. Well, that's not going to happen. I don't understand the pricing of these. And I understand they want to make money. I totally get it. It's a long day. They're sitting there, meeting all these kinds of people, and I get it. I know it's not easy what they do. They got to be up all day and it's exhausting, and I get it. But I feel that, and this just could be me, this also will get into our show, I just feel differently when it comes to giving back, or people that are interested in your work, no matter what you do, whether you're an actor, whether you're an independent music artist, like you're a painter, when it comes to people buying your product or being a fan of you, there has to be, in my eyes, there has to be a little bit of give and take. You have to appreciate what they do. So when I look at a Chris Jericho, I go, like, not to get gross, but back in the day, like, I peed next to this guy in a bingo hall bathroom. Like, you couldn't get people to ask you for an autograph now because you're this big star, like you're getting $200. It makes no sense to me because people are struggling now on a normal basis just trying to buy groceries. So to ask people that kind of money, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't have to go meet Chris Jericho. I could go meet the kid from Terrifier 2 and 3, and he's like $40 for an autograph and a selfie. And he's in one of the biggest movies in the past 2 years. I don't know where these people get these prices. I don't know. I don't know. And since we're in the music business and we're talking about a music business podcast, this guy Spencer from this band Ice Nine Kills, who is very popular now, metalcore I guess would be the genre he's in, I want to say he might have been 60 for an autograph and 80 for a selfie or something like that. But if you wanted him to write something extra on your autograph, it was like $20. An extra being like a line from one of his songs. And I'm like, why would you ask someone to pay an extra $20 because they want a line of your song written on a picture? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. I would sell my soul to be in a position he's in. I could probably be losing money this weekend if I was at a convention signing autographs and pictures, but people walk away and they have this amazing experience, and that's more worth it to me, right? Like, I was talking to somebody yesterday who got a picture of both Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. I mean, they're major A-list actors, right? And I think the photo of the two of them together was $260. Is it expensive? Absolutely. But I said to the young lady, I said, how were they? She was like, oh my God, they were amazing. Okay. So if they were amazing, then you walk away with this, a great picture of the two of them together with you, and you go, that was worth it, right? Because, I mean, that's at the end of the day. If people are going to spend money, at least make it worth it. So give your time, give your energy. But to me, I can't fathom that. I just can't. I cannot get through my head that it's so expensive to meet these people. It doesn't make sense to me. And in this day and age of 2025, at the time of recording this, everything is so damn expensive that I almost feel bad for people like spending this kind of money. But it's one of those things where people save up to do this. So, if that's what people want to do and that's their big spend for the next 6 months, then good on them. You know what I mean? I just, as a celebrity on their level, I go, I don't understand it. I just, like, why? How are you not giving back?
Are they selling merch as well on their table, or is it just
some are? Like, some have 8x10s of different movies they were in, or different headshots, or
are they signed?
Stuff like that.
Are they signed images?
They'll sign them there when you walk up.
So you have to buy the photo, then buy the autograph?
What it is, you go up to the table and you say to the helper, I want an autograph. And then you walk up to the table, you pay them, and then you talk to the person, the celebrity, and then you decide on which 8x10 that you want. Because normally a lot of them have different...
So it's included, so you don't have to bring your own thing. I guess you
sometimes
can bring your
own.
Okay, yeah.
You can, yeah. Sometimes you can. Like, a lot of people will get a lot of people, like last year or whenever it was, get a picture, a selfie with that artist. They'll bring it back the following time and go, hey, can you sign this picture of me and you? And then on top of that, Mick, so you meet them at the table and you could get something signed or you could get a selfie with them. But there's also this separate thing where it's called a photo pro-op, where it's a professional photo in a booth. Wow. That's a whole nother price.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So if I bet, let's just say Chris Jericho, if I paid $100 for a selfie with Chris Jericho, I paid another probably $100 and something to get a photo op of this professional picture in front of a nice background. And the pictures are super nice. Like, they're
Sure,
really nice.
Sure.
But it's an extra price. So, like I said, to get a picture with Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, if I understood her correctly, it was $260 for the both of them. But that was not included what they were doing at the table, at their own table.
So the flip side of that is, with musicians going to the big shows, merch prices are crazy. I mean, you got T-shirts, $65. I remember seeing one $85. Like, I'm not buying an $85 shirt. Where am I going to wear that?
100%.
I drop a
100%.
meatball on it, I'm done. I'm so angry. It's, I mean, come on. I got more stains on shirts than you can shake a stick at. I know there's a rising cost of stuff. I see it. I mean, like, merch prices have gone out the roof just to get stuff made and traveling and stuff like that. But is it because they can? Is it because of greed? Is it because everybody else is doing it? And like you're saying, like, I'm thinking now in my head, like, how do you come up with a price? Just recently, people have been complaining about, Mark Hamill showing up at these type of shows, and he's now charging $500 for his autograph, and then it's like $750 for an autograph and a picture, and for whatever it is. I mean, that's somebody's mortgage.
Yeah.
That's crazy stuff. Have these people become so far removed that they forget that the majority of people that are probably fans are of a different economic class?
I don't know, man. I don't know, Mick. I really don't know. I think it...
Man, it's
I
like
think
McDonald's pricing... I mean, listen, when you and I were kids... I mean, and I know people will go back even further, but I remember the cheeseburger being 35 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, now I think a cheeseburger's $2-something.
Yeah.
The whole meal, or something, it may even be more than that. The whole meal, the 2 cheeseburger meal with the fries and the drink, I mean, that's like $10, 10-something now. Like, we're talking cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And I get it's adjusted for inflation and this and that and the other thing, and, which those numbers to me are all manipulated anyway, because if there's a cap put on it, everybody's still going to make money. It's going to make it more affordable. But what they do is they price people out, just like supermarkets. We talked about this before. This has nothing to do with music, but they're literally pricing people out of buying groceries. That's why places like Dollar Tree and those dollar stores that now have converted to $1 and up have groceries, large amount. They're not, listen, it's not all top shelf stuff, but since COVID, people go to them more often than they did before because they can live on a budget. Again, they're not eating some of the best stuff. I mean, if you look at some of that ingredients of some of that stuff, whatever. Now you want the better stuff, you got to pay a little more. And sometimes, portion-wise, you're better going to the major supermarket because you're literally paying more for less. Kind of seems to be the way of the world right now, but this does play into a little bit of the topic that we're going to talk about on this episode, but I definitely think that artists should be paid for their celebrity because they've earned it. I mean, they're working hard to keep that. Some of these guys, I don't know where they get their celebrity at, but this is a different world, right? It's a different time. I totally get it. I think that what happens is, I think the greed sets in, and, unless these people are paying for tables, and like you said, if they're paying out of their pocket, they're trying to cover their costs. I get it. I think they're getting manipulated just like us regular musicians are, because if they're invited to an expo or convention, whatever you call them, and they're not necessarily being paid, those people at the convention, they know that by tagging these celebrities onto their show, hey, so-and-so is going to be here, so-and-so, ticket sales go out the roof, people come out so that they're getting their entry fees. And then there are vendors that are paying to be there, like food vendors or, some of your regular people who are selling memorabilia and hard to find, whatever, because those tables aren't cheap, because I know what they are on some other type of expos that I've been involved in. You could pay several $100s to several $1,000s for spots in these conventions. Yeah. And of course, the more celebrity you have, the more attendance is going to be drawn. So you have a greater shot at making more bank on your table. So I get all that. I understand the game, the model of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Walmart model, wouldn't you think that less would bring in more? Like, you'd have more people. Not that I really want to pay for anybody's autograph. Don't you think that more people would stand in line? Or is it that the other model, you jack up the price and you're covering your nut regardless of how many people show up? So instead of having a line of 1,000 people at $25, you can have a line of 500 people for $65. Is it less time for them? Is it maximizing their time? I guess so. On a business model, right? If you're just trying to make ends meet, cover your overhead, and take a little home with you.
I agree with you 1,000%. You would think less would be more. But I think in their head, if people are going to pay the $100 for an autograph and $100 for a photo and $200 for both, if people are going to pay it, then they go pay it. If you don't want to pay it, then I'm sorry, you're not gonna get an autograph and
next.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I think that's with everything. Like, again, like I said, concert tickets. Oh my God, they're so expensive. Well, so you can't go to that show. The guy behind you is going to go to that show. He's going to pay that money. Some of the people that go to the conventions, they save up just for that experience.
Right.
So, they go, okay, well, that's what this price is. That's what this price is. Then they're going to go. And if I don't pay it, someone else is going to pay it. So, it doesn't matter. Like I had said, the only way this stuff's going to change is if people just stop completely. But there's always going to be people that pay it because that's their one shot, their one experience. They're putting money away for 6 months, to go to these shows. And, and I can't blame people for that. Like, I get it. I totally understand. I mean, it's funny because we go to these things and my wife is never impressed, but I like going to these things for the celebrities. I just like to meet people that I've seen or followed. And not that I would pay $200. She would probably murder me if I said, hey, I want to pay $200 to see Chris Jericho. She'd be like, you see him on TV every week. You don't need to pay $100 for an autograph. It's fine. I like the whole celebrity thing, but I definitely wouldn't pay $260 for a picture with Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. I wouldn't pay that kind of money for anybody. Because to be honest, I've met some really, really cool people for way less. And my wife and I have been lucky enough to gain some acquaintances at these things that are people that are on the lower caliber celebrity. But when we see them, it's a friendly thing. Like they recognize us, they know our names, and then we hang out. So sometimes there's that too. You just gain these relationships.
A famous circus promoter once said, there's a butt for every seat. And I guess that's why I'm a musician hack who's doing a podcast in their basement. So there you have it.
And that's my thing, man. And I know we'll get into the meat of the show. It's about this, but for me, it's always been about the fan. Doing things for the fan, that means more to me. I'd rather give back more because in my eyes, it just keeps people engaged and keep coming back. And that's the most important thing.
Well, look, how about we just lead into the topic then?
Yeah,
that's a good
let's
point.
Do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So the topic of this show is, should an artist or band give away their music and merch to build a fan base? Should an artist or band give away their music and merch to build a fan base? It's become a very popular model in the last 20, 30 years, actually. I mean, it really hit the mark when 9 Inch Nails did it in the early internet days. What people forget, though, is they already had a fan base. So the model, or the idea for the model, was give them something, get them on board to get them to spend. And it seemed to work. By the time it trickled down, in my opinion, and bands on the local and regional scene started doing that, sooner or later, there was an expectation. And then it was, in my opinion, from what I seen, it became difficult to get people to purchase. I mean, there's still that model. Major companies use it. You give something away, you get people's loyalty, you get people's attention, and then they're more willing to spend. Apparently, that's what the statistics show. But I think that statistic is, how would you say? I think it's specific to a specific demographic, and I think it's to a specific type of product. I don't think it goes cross-board. What do you think, Bud? Should a band, should an artist look to always give away their merch, their music, just to build an audience? What do you think, pal?
Man, and I talked about this before in another show. I think I don't even remember the topic because I know we just did ticket sales. But back in the day, in one of the bands I was in, we were traveling and we were from South Jersey. We were based out of South Jersey. And we would play L'Amour's in Brooklyn a lot, all the time for super national acts. And the venue liked us because we could move tickets. And the reason we were moving so many tickets is because we did kind of like your model too. You buy 2 tickets, get one free, or buy a ticket and a CD, get one free. And we were doing the same thing, But for us, it was back then. I mean, it was so long ago. We were doing buy a ticket, get one free, or, we would buy 2 tickets and then we would wait till the day of the show and we would go up and down the line and go, hey, who needs tickets? And someone goes, hey, I do. And you go, okay, here's 2 free tickets. Just, make sure you're up front to see us. And whatever the case may be, we would give away CDs and shirts. And honestly, that always seemed to work because we found that doing that, again, we're from Jersey and this is a club in Brooklyn. We found that when we were booked on another show, those fans would contact us and go, hey, do you guys have any ticket deals? So it became easier for us to move tickets coming from hours and miles away because we spent a little or we took a loss, for one show or whatever it is. honestly, I have probably given away more CDs and more shirts in my lifetime, in my 30 plus years of doing this, than I probably made money. Because I just feel that if you give somebody something, they're going to come back. They're going to support your band. And it's going to be that thing where they go, oh yeah, man, I saw this band. The dude was really cool. He gave me this, gave me that. I really like him. You should check him out. Now we're kind of building a base. And again, we were playing Brooklyn. And as time went on, I mean, we were playing Brooklyn for at least a good steady 2-3 years. And our tickets just became easier to move because we would go to these shows and we would do a little extra. Again, we would go back to another show and we'd meet the same kids, and then they would have a friend, and you're selling them a ticket, or you're giving it half price, or giving it for free, or, you're giving buy a ticket, get a shirt, CD, whatever the case may be. So it just expanded on that, and that's what I've never stopped doing that. Even at this level, I'm still doing it. I still will make deals with people. If someone comes up to the merch booth and goes, hey, I only have $10. Someone says, oh man, I really dug your band. How much is CD, shirts, whatever? And I go, tell you what, I'll just give you a CD, or, keep your 10, or here's a CD and shirt, because they'll support your band. They'll most likely come back. I mean, is there a chance they may not? Maybe, but if you're getting them, if they like you, you're just like these conventions. If you're giving someone a great experience, most likely they're going to come back, or they'll tell someone, hey, I had this great experience. So that's all going to come back tenfold somewhere down the road. Even when I was in my former band and we were touring and traveling around the world, we would do the same thing. We would just give something away, that even if it was a pin or a button, or, you just something, because people really do appreciate that, especially when it comes to money, because now money is, people don't have the funds to do a lot of things anymore, so they're very cautious about where they spend their money. So if someone comes to a show and they want to go home with a CD and they just don't have the money to, hey man, throw it their way. It's more important to me that someone goes home with something, and I know you feel the same way, going home with something, because they're probably going to come back, or they'll stay in touch with you, or they'll help you spread the word of your band. And to me, that's more important than making $20. Like, it just is to me. It just is. I was never in it for the money anyway, so maybe that's why I have this viewpoint of who cares, because I never wanted to do it for the money. Is the money nice? Of course it is. It doesn't fuel my soul. I'd rather have someone enjoy the experience or enjoy the music. That's more important to me. When they go, man, I saw that band and that dude was so cool. Those guys are so cool. They gave me a CD. And because guess what? 9 out of 10 times, those people will come back.
This is how I look at it, too. For our level, most of what's on the merch table, in the grand scheme, if you really kind of stack it up, whatever, we're talking nickel and dime. It's not like we're selling T-shirts for $85, not even $50. I mean, half the time, right. I think we've only had a couple $25 T-shirts over the years, of just a few times. Most of our T-shirts are $10, $15, and we try to maintain that. We'll do a $20, you get a CD and a T-shirt, and half the time we throw in stickers and some other stuff. For us, we've always tried to maintain a very low price point, because I've talked about this on the show. I think I've talked about it to you as well privately. I consider how I would buy. And I know that being more of a frugal person, there's things that I'm not going to pay that kind of money for. Something I may not wear, may not use, right. May not whatever. Right. I realize right. There's a support element, and there are people that buy that. But that doesn't mean that you don't have it. It's just that maybe you try to keep it at a price point where it's affordable for a lot of people, rather yes. than just some people, a few yes. people. And I agree with you. I'm more excited about somebody going home with something rather than nothing. And I mean, you often get that. Hey, listen, I only have, all right, either we alter what you can get, or it's just like, hey, whatever, man, I've already paid for it. And again, because we're looking at it as nickel and dime. Now, the argument's going to be, well, it's not your mainstay of income, and you have this and that, and we're doing this. And because I've heard this from, well, these guys, this is their living. Well, that's a choice. Listen, a lot of this, if you're a musician, it's a choice. You're not forced to do it. I understand it, and I'm all about musicians' rights, artists' rights. They should get their fair share and stuff. But remember, at the end of the day, we made this decision to do that. And that doesn't mean that, in my opinion, because I made that decision, it gives me the right to take advantage of somebody else. Thank God, or whoever you believe in my life, I've been successful outside of the music business. And it just wasn't handed to me. I've worked many decades to create that in business and in relationships and things of that nature. So I understand that model that I put forth in my regular life. I try to do that as well. When I came back to music, I used that model to get my career back up and running and moving forward. And you can call it whatever you want and this, that, and the other thing, and that's okay. I'm fine with where I'm at and what I've done because I've achieved some stuff. And I've been lucky enough not to have to do music as my mainstay because I was smart enough to understand early on, once I got hit with it, it's like, hey, this maybe I need to do. So that when I did this, I wanted to do it as a passion. That doesn't mean that I don't want to make anything from it because I've created a model that it funds itself, thankfully. Is that going to be forever? No. I mean, the way things are going now, it's changing so much that I may have to come to a expiration date. And that's okay. I'm all right with that. Again, in the process, I don't think I should be stepping on people and screwing people along the way. And fans are so important. And at our level, you could have that fan forever. I mean, we've had some fans from the very beginning still around. Are they as active as they once were? No. It's 15 years later. People get old. People get sick. People have problems. Yeah. There's other things in life. You can't expect stuff. But they're always there because you treated them well. And I think that's important. I had issues with other bands when it came down to like $25. It's like, really? You got to pay your guys $5 a piece? That's how important it is to you? Well, I'll be honest with you. Today, at this time, I no longer associate with those people because they made such a stink about it. Yeah. And it was not about that they were paying anybody anything. I don't think they paid anybody. They pocketed it. It was all about ego and greed and feeling that they had the leg up. Well, there you go. I hope that 25 got you somewhere. I've spent that at a diner, at 2 a.m. So what are you going to do?
You are listening to the Cosmick Voice with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
Is it about the money? No. But the argument is yes, because you got to spend money to make money. So, like, if you keep giving it away, what are you doing? Totally understand that. As we talked about with these guys with this convention, I'm not sure where they come up with some of these prices. I mean, I could see $20, $25. I remember those days. Ivan Putski for $20. Okay.
Right.
$20, right. And that's the photo, and everything's already,
and
a lot of these guys pre-sign stuff. Okay, whatever. Then we come to find that, Eddie Trunk signed a lot of Ace Frehley autographs. And, John Bon Jovi last year used that AI pen. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I think at our level, again, as we're building an audience, I think there has to be some allotment to it. Do you give everything away? Absolutely not. Listen, we're in an age now that our music's being given away without our permission anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
And I also feel that we're in an age where your average audience member isn't going out and making their own T-shirts like in the old days. Right? I mean, there's lots of memories of people creating their own Kiss T-shirts back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just doing their own designs. I mean, I did it in the 80s. I mean, I had a Scorpions jacket that I had painted. I had a Rat jacket that I had painted myself. I had posters or, sheet banners of things that I did to hang in my room. I don't believe people are doing that these days. I really don't. I don't see it. I haven't seen a custom shirt. I don't even know when the last time I seen a custom shirt was, right? I mean, right? Am I right?
No, you are 100% right.
Yeah, because,
you are 100%
well,
right.
One, because back then, not everybody had merch, or they had such limited merch that most people may not have been able to get to it. So we created our own.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was definitely a budget thing. But I think we need to allot a certain amount that we give stuff away, like rubber bracelets or pins or some stickers. Do they cost us money? Yeah. Well, that's the cost of businesses. Businesses do that. Major companies allot a certain amount of giveaways, of promotional items, of whatever. And if you're doing your accounting right, that all balances out.
Do you feel that in your real life outside of music, doing the work that you do or have done in the past, haven't you found that if you give someone a little break and you do this amazing job, that it just word of mouth, you're getting more work, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like in today's world, people expect that maybe a free consultation or a free first meeting, or, like in some things, like I know in the PT world, you get maybe a free first session or something like that. I mean, a lot of it's high level to kind of hook people in or whatever, but to get, you have to give a little. Totally understand that. And there's a good model. What statistics have shown, though, that if people don't feel that there's a value to it, they don't continue with it. So that means if you feel that, like, oh, well, they're just giving it away, so it's really not worth anything. That model that's been very popular the last 12 years is that your price point's so high that you create this value that it's forcing people of a certain economic status to buy into it. And that's really what's happened. In the last 15 years, the business model has been to cut out that middle class and below and focus only on upper middle class and above.
Right.
Because you can do less with more.
More, yeah.
So they're not only taking that model in those respects, they've taken it to, like, cars. It's almost impossible to get a car under a certain amount now.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've added all the bells and whistles as they can. It doesn't come without that. Well, how about, can I get a car that, with no tires, and I'll just do the Fred Flintstone? Nah, you can't get that. And it drives itself, and it will park, and you can sleep in it, and it serves you. That's the base model, huh? So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you see it with musicians offering packages of, like, you'll buy this $300-400 music package, and it comes with a splatter CD, a splatter vinyl. You get it and all this. Like, well, half of society today doesn't even have a record player.
Right.
But you get it anyway, and it's factored into the price. But I think, again, at our level, it's key as you're building up an audience. And here's the thing. We're always building up an audience.
Yeah.
Our lifetime fans, whatever that is, because a lot of bands are short-lived. I mean, less than 5 years. I mean, think about it. We're worse than restaurants. We open and close much faster than a brand new restaurant because people have to eat. People don't need to listen to your music or come see you play.
It's true.
My whole career, I've been building an audience. Just the way it works. And with music tastes and the way people like, follow, unlike, unfollow, stuff's changing every 3 to 6 months. Constantly. But I think you need to factor some of that in. Now, we talked about this before, like with my band and brand, we do a lot of custom stuff. So we do small runs, limited runs, which helps us keep it at a price point where I feel is affordable.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that. Some of our special limited run stuff we'll actually get sponsors for, so we have them as part of it. They're listed as someone who's helped get this off the ground. Like our comic book that we did, The Monster Inside, based on our song from 2016. We actually did sponsor ads within the comic, so that helped get it off the ground, get it into production, and keep the cost down so that when we pass it off, I mean, literally, you got a comic and a CD in a package for $20. And that was shipped out. That was shipped. I think if you bought it at the show, it was $15. And our first run, we sold out. Some things work, some things don't, but you got to factor some stuff in. Like I said, we've always done well with the custom merch. A lot of stuff is in-house, or we're involved in it rather than just kind of shipping it out to somebody else to take care of it. Now, we don't do any of that drop shipment stuff, so it's in small runs. That also gives us the option to package it with something else, or to make those, like you talked about, somebody comes up and goes, look, I got $25, what can I get off the table? Well, you're giving them the better deal right there because it's one chunk. Well, $25 for us, that's the lights going off. We just hit the jackpot. You know what I mean? It's when you get a guy that comes up and goes, I got $1. What can I get? Well,
what can I get?
I don't know. Here, let me grab something off of this guy's merch table.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? Is it a model that we should support?
I mean, I do. Like I said earlier, I was never in it for the money. I was in it to get my music heard and get names out there, and that's more important to me than going home with someone's hard-earned money, because I feel it's always going to come back. And I don't mean like in a karma kind of way. I mean just in a business kind of way. If you give people something, if you show them a little bit of respect and kindness, just like in real life, that stuff goes a long way. If they like your band already and they go home with something, they're probably going to come back, or they'll probably buy something down the road, or they'll buy another ticket, and they'll probably bring somebody next time. So could you run the risk of, if I give my CD and a shirt to this guy because maybe he's a fan of the band, then he brings a friend, do you run the risk of the friend expecting the same thing? Sure, but that's just a chance I'm willing to take for two people now through the front door. It's more important to me to get this stuff out there and for people to appreciate what we do than, making money. It just always has been for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. Start small. Maybe some stickers, maybe some pins, maybe some bracelets. For us, autographs are always free. We even sometimes have some photo images that are already pre-signed. If you buy something, we give them away. I mean, we don't even sell them. I mean, they're just free stuff. You'd be surprised. Give it a shot, see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or maybe you just didn't get the right mix of product and sell point. If you're not comfortable with it, then you don't do it. You know your demographic, you know your audience or the audience that you're trying to attract. It's always worth a shot, especially when you're in the game and you're the one calling the shots. You can always change gears if you need to. We do it all the time. All the time.
Yep, all the time.
All right, if you like that episode, check out some of our other episodes at www.thecosmickvoice.com. Step into the Cosmickverse and fill that void. Thanks so much for listening. This is the Cosmick Voice. If you have a question, a topic idea, or something you want us to address, just contact us through our Facebook page at The Cosmick Voice. You can listen to The Cosmick Voice at Spotify, Breaker, Apple, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and at thecosmicview.com. Check us out on Facebook at The Cosmick Voice.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, Mick and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes of The Cosmick Voice. And you can get in touch with us through thecosmickvoice.com and, of course, all of the Cosmick Voice social medias. Take care and be safe.
You're listening to The Cosmick Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business.